So I was in an abusive relationship for almost 8 years, and I left 5.5 years ago. And that relationship was physically, emotionally, sexually and financially abusive. And it came to a head in April 2015 when I was physically assaulted. I called the police and made a full statement, and my ex-husband was arrested and later convicted of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. We were still living in the family home. His dad owned the house, so I was still living there with my 2.5-year-old twin boys at the time. I didn't feel safe in our family home anymore, and I was always planning to leave anyway. So I ended up applying for Start Safely with the help of my caseworker. So we'd already put in the application for that, but I had to get out quickly, so I ended up moving into a 1-bedroom apartment, which was the house of a friend of a friend. My thought process was that because we'd applied for Start Safely, which the processing time was 28 days, it would happen very quickly. I think we had 3.5 weeks in the house, so I thought, well, that would be enough. But that meant we actually had to go to housing after the 3.5 weeks and declare homeless. So we then were, there was no crisis accommodation available for us, so we were put up in a motel on Anzac Parade. And then on the Monday I went back to housing and declared homeless again, which is their process. So we moved into Jewish House and we were there for another 3 weeks. And then we finally found somewhere to rent. It was all done with the help of this amazing agent that we had that was so understanding, and you know, everything was going wrong for us at the time, so we were very lucky. I used to, every place I went to look at, I would just go and speak directly to the agent and say, I've just left a domestic abuse relationship. I know this is really hard. We can only afford to pay $3.89 a week. But we're looking to stay here for at least 12 months. We want to have some consistency in our lives, some stability. Half the rent will be paid by Housing New South Wales. And the problem was that I had lived rent-free for the whole time I'd been in Australia. So I had no rental history. I had no income because I wasn't working because I had young children. I had no savings because I'd come with nothing. And so on paper I looked absolutely terrible. And I found 2 agents that were amazing. One was the lady that helped us, and the reason that she helped us is she just felt sorry for us. My boys were asleep in our double pram on the train, and the pram snapped in half while they were asleep inside. So I held it together all the way to the train station. I dumped the pram and they had to walk to the place, which was probably about a 20-minute walk away with little people. And it started raining as we were on our way there, and then when we got there, one of them needed to change his nappy, and it was just a nightmare. And she just was so understanding. You could just see that she wanted to help us if we could make it work for her client. For us, it was all about, or for me, it was all about getting those agents on side to understand that no matter what I looked like on paper, I was going to be a good tenant, and I needed someone to believe in us and take a chance on us so that I could put a roof over our head. It enabled me to move forward with my life.